Hello students, myself Mrs. Dipali Jori from KK Polytechnic Nasik. Welcome to the video of statistics. In today's video, we will discuss about the one of the measure of dispersion, that is range. Let's begin with the definition of measures of dispersion first of all. The measures of dispersion indicates the scattering of data. It helps to interpret the variability of data. A measure of dispersion is designed to state numerically the extent to which individual observations vary on the average. So there are actually three types of measures of dispersion: range, mean deviation and standard deviation. From these three measures of dispersion, today we will discuss about the first, that is range. So before going further again, let's see the learning outcome of today's video. After watching this video, you all will be able to calculate the range for given type of data. What is mean by range first of all? See, range is the simplest absolute measure of dispersion. It is very simple absolute measure of dispersion. It is the difference between largest and smallest value of x. It is small x, it means observations from the given data. Whatever may be the type of data, it may be raw, group, ungroup. For all the types of data, you just have to consider the observation values for calculating range. Let us see the formulae for different type of data. If your given data is raw data, like the number of observations are given, x1, x2, x3, etc. up to xn. These are the n observations. Then how to calculate range there, or what is mean by range there? See, capital L and capital S. L stands for the largest value of the observation in the given data. S is the smallest value of the observation in the given data. Okay, so the range means simply the difference between them, largest minus smallest value of x. After that, we again have to find coefficient of range. For coefficient of range, the formula is L minus S upon L plus S. Largest value minus smallest value divided by largest value plus smallest value, okay, of x every time. Second type of data is ungrouped data. For ungrouped data, the two values will be given, observations and the corresponding frequency will be given. Okay, so xi means x1, x2 up to xn. The corresponding frequencies, suppose they are f1, f2 up to fn. See, the table must be given in the example. It must be given to us, then only we can find its range. So in the type of ungrouped data, L and S means capital L and capital S. They both stands for respectively. L is largest value of the observation in the given data, means again the value of x, the largest value of x, and the smallest value means from x means capital S. So in that case again range will be L minus S. For raw data and ungrouped data, the formulae are same. L minus S, coefficient of range means L minus S upon L plus S. Okay, here for both the type of data, we just have to consider the x values and not frequencies. The next type of data is group data. Group data means the class intervals are given there. Okay, provided the class intervals must be continuous. If they are discontinuous, okay, then you first have to make them continuous and then go for using formula. So if the class intervals are continuous, like x0 minus x1, see, x1 minus x2, it means it is continuous. The upper limit of your first class and the lower limit of the next immediate class must be same. So x0 minus x1, x1 minus x2 up to xn minus 1 minus xn. Okay, so if the class intervals are continuous, corresponding frequencies are given, your data will be group data. And for that type of group data, range is, the formula for range is L. Here L stands for upper limit of the highest class. this one xn, upper limit of the highest class, and s, it means it is lower limit of the lower class, lower limit of the lower class, x0. This is your s value, this is your L value. The formula is again same, the concept is same, that largest minus smallest. Only which values we have to consider, that we have to remember. Largest value means upper limit of the last class, S means the lower limit of the first class or the lower class. Again, the coefficient of range, after identifying L and S, substitute again the values in your coefficient of range formula and calculate it. Let's see the examples. Find range and coefficient of range of the following data. See, the type of data is raw data, because only xi values are given, no frequency is given. Okay, so 5, 7, 9, 13, 11, 5, 3, they are the data type is raw data. So in this type of data, what we have to do, we have to identify the larger value and the smaller value. Just you can first rearrange that data in increasing or decreasing order and then identify larger value and smaller value, that is also okay. If it is possible to identify it immediately, that also you can do. See, just by observation we can say, we can identify the larger value, largest observation in the data is 13, 13, the greater value, and the smallest observation in the data is 3, it is just 3. So range is L minus A, that is 13 minus 3, and therefore range is equal to 10. Then coefficient of range, the formula is known to us, L minus S upon L plus S. Substitute the values, just L and S are already identified, 13 and 3 they are respectively. So 13 minus 3 upon 13 plus 3, 10 by 16, you can write your answers in decimal. So coefficient of range is 0.625. Next, now let us consider the example of ungrouped data in which xi and fi values are given, observations and the corresponding frequency is given. So now again the question is to find range and coefficient of range here. See, the xi values are 3, 8, 13, 18, 23, 28, 33. They are already in increasing order. Fine, so we can easily identify the largest value of xi. While calculating range, every time we have to consider the values of xi just. Fi values will not come in any of the formula of range. Remember it. Okay, so xi, the largest value is 33. So L is 33. S, the smallest value of xi is 3. So S, capital S is 3, and hence range is 33 minus 3, that is 30. And the coefficient of range is, similarly the substitute the values over there in your formula of L minus S upon L plus S. It is 30 upon 36, that is 0.8333. Okay, I think this is clear to all of you for ungrouped data again. Next, let's go for the group data. See, do first observe your class intervals which are given to you. Again, we have to find out range and coefficient of range, but now the data is a group data. So for group data, see, now the marks are given and the number of students. So between 0 and 10, there are 10 students. From 10 to 20, there are 20 students. Okay, likewise, the next columns are given. So let us first identify the values of L and S. For group data, do first identify whether your observations or your class intervals are continuous or not. Are they continuous here? Yes. See, the upper limit of your first class and the lower limit of the next class is same. 10, 10. Here again 20, 20, 30, 30. So given table is with continuous class intervals. Okay, so immediately we can identify L and S values here. Capital L, for group data, it is upper limit of the highest class. So what is it L value? It is 16. Capital S, it's a lower limit of the lowest class. So lowest class is 0 to 10. Its lower limit is 0. So capital S is 0. And therefore range is equal to L minus S, that is 60 minus 0, that is 60. Then coefficient of range, L minus S upon L plus S. Substitute the values over there, just 60 minus 0 upon 60 plus 0, that is the coefficient of range is 1. Fine. This measure of dispersion range is very simple. for any type of data, for raw data, for ungrouped data, for group data also, because the family are similar. Now let's see one example in which we have to find out the range and coefficient of range with discontinuous class intervals. See, you can observe the class intervals are not continuous in the given example. It is 25 to 26, 27 to 28. The upper limit, the lower limit are not same. So you first have to make them continuous and then go for calculations. So here the class intervals are not continuous. Making them continuous as, how we can make them continuous? Yes, we just have to subtract 0.5 from every lower limit and we have to add 0.5 in every upper limit. Correct? How that 0.5 have come? 0.5 means 27 minus 26 upon 2. So it is 1 by 2, that is 0.5. That value you have to subtract from each lower limit and you have to add into each upper limit. So 25 minus 0.5 is 24.5. 26 plus 0.5 is 26.5. 27 minus 0.5, here we have to subtract, here we have to add. 27 minus 0.5 is 26.5. 28 plus 0.5 is 28.5. Subtract, add. 28.5, 30.5. Subtract here, add in upper limit. So 30.5, 32.5. Now you can observe in this table, your class intervals are continuous. Okay, so after making them continuous, now we can go for identifying L and S values. There will be no change in the frequency row, this row, number of days. The frequencies will remain same, 10, 12, 2, 11, 12, 10, 4, 1, etc. So what is it L value now? Now the upper limit or upper boundary of the highest class, which is 36.5. Capital S, it's a lower boundary or lower limit we can say of the lowest class, that is 24.5. Here it is 24.5, right? And 36.5 is L, and therefore range is 36.5 minus 24.5, that is 12. And then coefficient of range, substitute in the formula of L minus S upon L plus S, you'll get your answer as 12 by 61, that is 0.196. This is your coefficient of range for the given group data. Okay, so these are the examples of range and coefficient of range for 3 different types of data. I'll stop this video here. Thank you everyone. Happy learning and have a nice day.